Randall, you have the first word.
Thank you. Now, welcome everybody. It's our 32nd vvvv meetup, and we're very happy to have you. We're going to be sharing some beautiful projects and ongoing work from dear members of our.
Oh, good. You have some weird noises? Or...
Sorry. 1 second, I'm having a technical issue right here. Thank you, YouTube, for muting and letting me carry on. Beginner mistake again. Once again, welcome to our 32nd V4 meetup. Very happy to have you. We have a great lineup for you today. I'm your host, Randall Vasquez. I'm hosting here from warm Costa Rica, sending you lots of love for you cold countries out there. You can make it through the winter. We have 6 presenters today. Very, very interesting stuff to show you. And so if you're joining us on YouTube, feel free to send your comments for anything you want to share. If you have any questions, I'll be keeping an eye on that. If you're on Element Chat, I will also be keeping tabs on that. So you can also send any love, questions, or comments over there. And finally, if you want to join us directly on the Zoom call, you can do that as well and interact with the presenters yourself. With that said, I'll give it up to David over there in Berlin with our lovely studio audience who has a few announcements for us today. David.
Yeah, thank you, Randall. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we're here in the Node Institute in Berlin. There's new people coming in. Great. I have just 2 announcements to make. I know this season of our education program has been very rare in new vvvv courses, but now we have some small updates. So one thing that I shortly wanted to show is, if Jorek shares the screen, together with Niels Vega, aka Phlegma. Some of you might know him in person. I've been working with him a lot in past decades with Meso and other companies. He's pretty much, well known in the industry, and he will be giving a 2-session-long course about UI frameworks and patterns in vvvv. So if you are not really familiar with all the different UI frameworks such as ImGUI, Bologna, and Rive, and the differences between them, then this course is for you. So everybody, also the newbies and like people who maybe just did the beginner class, this is the perfect course in order to understand everything, how you create UIs in different styles and different patterns and different frameworks. This is the one thing. And the other thing, and there we have the instructor himself, Levox Trip, Leon Folbers from Barcelona. Maybe you can say a word about what you've been doing. Maybe you want to take over the screen as well. I don't know if you have something to show. Otherwise, Jorek can just show the course.
Yeah, exactly. I would have shown the same page. So maybe just show the page. So yeah, I'm Leon. I'm actually from Osnabrück, Germany, winter wonderland. Saying hi to everybody. And yeah, I'm a freelance creative technologist and game developer, and I create a lot of interactive installations. And I thought, why not making a course where we create a collection of different approaches and ways how to create interactive experiences for people, and how to work with different sensors or with different image tracking techniques. So yeah, I spoke with the Node Institute, and together we kind of came together with this collection of patches which I'm going through in these tutorials. And yeah, I will I explain explain the techniques and different ways how to approach it, and yeah, that's basically it.
If you want to dive in how these courses are working, then the 3 first lessons or topics, they're just sample topics. You can simply click them and watch them and see what this is like. And hopefully make some noise to have some people using the source. Yeah, that's it from our side. And so maybe one
Very
last
cool.
word for Niels course, because it has a date, obviously. The other one, Jurek, maybe jump back. It's a live course. It's planned to be live on February 26 and 27, right after, from 6 to 9 p.m. Berlin time. It will be recorded and will stay available afterwards as well. But obviously, it would make sense to fill up seats and spaces for the live sessions because it's always nice.
Levels is not live.
Levers is not live. No, Levers is pre-recorded. He did it over the last couple of months.
Available right now.
It's available right now. Yeah, you can take it, click it, and have it. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's the news from us so far. More in the planning, but yeah, comes when time is right.
Super cool. Thanks for that, David and Leon. There you have it. 2 separate courses for various needs, tracking and UI frameworks. So go and check it out. And both very good teachers, very good dear members of the community who know what they're talking about. So definitely go and check it out. Okay, with that said, we move on to our first presenter, very well and dear known member of the community, joining us at 2 in the morning, all the way from China. Thank you
Hi.
so much for being here today.
Hello.
Le clonure in the flesh, everybody. There you have him.
Okay, so let me share my screen quickly. So start the timer.
Yeah, thanks. And you have multiple projects to show us and stuff you were working on in Shanghai, is that correct?
Yes. So last year, last year now we finished a project at the Shanghai Tower. And so I will introduce quickly so you have a little bit of context before I show the patch, otherwise it will be hard to understand what the visual are all about. So we did the design of the exhibition at the 125th floor, which is just before the last floor, which is the 126th. And inside this floor, there is the Shanghai Tower mass damper, which stabilized the tower. It's a mega huge machine that you can actually visit. And so the idea for the exhibition was to consider the tower from outside and think about it as a path to the final floor, because we are just the floor before the last one. So and in the end, our research, I won't go into the detail, but our research was to ended up into the confrontation between the force of the mass damper against the force of the nature on the other side. So it's a very site-specific project. So on this project, we did absolutely everything from the proposal early on, the interior design, the software programming, and a little bit of light, but there wasn't that much inside. So all the design is based on the contrast between these two forces. So everything was designed according to this principle. The exhibition is sort of a corridor, so I can show a few 3D. You have seen the video I posted maybe on the chat recently. So very early on, it was this. This is the entrance. So once you get out of the elevator, you have an elevator on both sides, and so it's hard to show the whole space because it's, as I said, it's a corridor. But here we build what we call the vortex, which is the wind, the force of the nature getting inside the space. So there is a mirror here and an LED screen behind the mirror. So you see the visuals through the mirror, and it reflects the things at the same time behind. So for example, the people behind this is the things that you see behind. So this was the very early concept that we made. So then you go on to the force of nature with the wind, and there's some touchscreen that explain different things. I will show you later about how the wind emerge from nature and how it affects the construction of high-rise tower. So everything is interactive inside this exhibition. So screen like this. So all screens here are displaying exactly the same content because there are lots of people coming in at the same time. So it's basically duplicated. So many people can use the screen together. So this is one, we are arriving from the left and we are going through the other side with the collision in the middle between the two forces. And the other side is the mechanical force area, which is about the mass damper itself and its technology. So, I mean, maybe I have so there is a model of the mass damper also. And so we designed the case as well. And there are screens on the other sides that explain how the mass damper works. So, and there are also some text on the wall that linked the whole exhibition together. So we wrote all the text. I won't go into detail. So this is some early sketch of the UI that we did to present the space. And then this leads to the final floor upstairs, which is the main room. If you search online, you can see some photo. So the exhibition is something like this. You arrive from the elevator here and you are going through this corridor. And the touchscreen are here for the force of nature, and the projection wall are all around the mass damper, which you can't really see through except on this. This is a glass wall, so you can see the bottom of the mass damper. The model is here and the other touchscreen are here. Then you go upstairs through this stairs here. So let's talk patch then, because so the vortex is this one. And well, basically fuse stuff here, as you can see. So for every project, for the exhibition has 6 different software running. So for each wall, and there are 12 computers in total. So this one is running on one computer. So we use this pattern for with Bjorn actually, who worked on the project. So we use this pattern for the software structure. So here, I mean, there's not much logic inside this one because it's mostly fuse effect. So forces, emitter, and so it's based on this visual is based on the Shanghai Tower logo and the particle emits from the logo, and then it has some endless variation. It's change direction, and sometimes it disappear. So when it fully disappear, you basically have a 100% mirror effect on the wall, because the black is where the reflection happen on the mirror. So, and then I have see. So yeah, basically this is the different structure that Bjorn helped to build at the beginning. So for the fuse things, it's like mostly tweaking parameter forever until you get the right effect. So this is the win on the wall. Well, obviously when it's projected, it doesn't render exactly like this, but so then there is a radar, so it's multi-touch for people to play with the effect. So here again, a bit more complex than the previous one. Well, emitter material and tons of forces going on also. Because in order to get the behavior, it's difficult to design something like this because how do you make something looks like wind? It's really about how it moves, and because the wind doesn't really looks like anything. So it took a long time to get to this final effect. I mean, every effect that we did for this project had to be done 3 times, like entirely almost, like until you get the final really the good effect.
Wow.
Then in the middle, It takes a little to load. The middle part, the collision between the two forces on the wall is actually running two patches at the same time. So there was one patch, the one I showed just previously is the wind effect. On the other side, there is the mechanical force effect. And both patches are actually running together at the same time on the wall in the middle. So, but there is a collision in happening here. So I can show. So here we have the nature ones that I just showed previously and the mechanical, which is another, and then all the things related to the collision. So it's a sphere basically here that helps to create the collision effect. And the intensity, all computers are connected, so the intensity of the effect change over time. So for example, the wave of the mechanical force here are sometimes more intense and sometimes less. And this value, which is the intensity of the overall forces, be it the nature or the mechanical, are actually all connected together. So it happens at the same time everywhere, even on the touchscreen.
Wow.
Then, oops. So maybe I will show the time is running out. So I will show the touchscreen. Sorry.
Beautiful patches, by the way. Just a
Yeah,
patch
this is
itself should be
something
an exhibit,
that,
you know.
very important in the doing this project is to keep things as tight as possible. So basically, no crossing line.
Wow.
And yeah, and not too many output
No
and
crossing.
inputs. Sorry, I need to.
Nice principle.
I don't remember. How do I unstage because there's some modification. I need to switch the. I need to switch the branch and GitHub man was thanks to Bjorn we managed to work together. Or maybe I can.
Just committed.
Yeah, exactly.
DSL.
Yeah. All right, it's coming up. Okay. So then the touchscreen. Okay. So the touchscreen, we had to create a UI library for it because but there wasn't anything really already to make this this project. So we started by making a UI library, a multi-touch library for it. Simple ones, but at least so we could put like buttons on top of a 3D view. And so this is the Win touchscreen. So it works in two languages, English and Chinese. And so there are different things that are explained about how the Win is created. So the maybe I have on the view, yeah, main UI. So we did this root control, for example, is where you plug every UI element, such as buttons, and there are some slider also. They are rendered on one layer, and then here a fuse for particle on the sphere, texture on top. This is also this one's using fuse also to make the typhoon, and then yeah, here's to show the wind against the building. So it's a fluid simulation with fuse. Here it's the higher the building is, the stronger the wind is, basically. And so here we have the SDF, so you can actually understand the forces that are applied on a building when the wind is pushing. I mean, there's different effect on it. And yeah, so for the patch, it's I mean, it's quite big, but I can show. This is the different page. This is the page header, which is here. And so all goes to a group, which is the multi-touch library that we made for it. And well, this is one page. So, and the funny things with the SDF, oh yeah, I can show this, it's interesting. It's like little tricks that is kind of cool. Like we managed to, because we wanted to explain the different shapes, how they are used to design a high-rise tower. There's different way to deal with the wind. And so we could actually fade between the different shape. And Brüll make also a really cool system where there is also a fade between the different camera positions. So it's all really fluid.
It looks amazing, man.
So then, just final, the mass damper touchscreen. So there was a lot of iteration to get to this in terms of programming structure. The UI library took quite a while to make. Then we had to build the things. And as I say, every page had to be redesigned more or less 3 times in order to get the visual correct. The color research also. There was a lot of work done on the coloring. So this is the mass damper touchscreen, which is vertical in this case, which is related to the contrast I mentioned before. Time's up, so I will just show this one.
Yeah, carry on.
So here we did all of it. So I mean the 3D model, also the text everywhere and different interaction to show the tower moving, how it vibrates, because it's actually moving. When there's a typhoon, you can feel it. And 3D model interaction when you can click on the model. So this is part, the system to do this is in the VL add-ons library. It's basically using the pixel color for this. So, and then this is kind of a 3D schema to explain how the mass damper works. It's like, well, I won't go into details, but it's kind of electromagnetic effect. And this technology is used for trains also, for the brakes.
Oh.
Because it doesn't really, it doesn't have any friction, so it doesn't heat up. And so the two screens actually are also sharing some elements. There is the UI library, but there are also elements like buttons and some information and some icons probably. So this is the list of the highest tower in the world that has a mass damper, actually. So there was different way to interact with it. And a gallery of the construction of the Shanghai mass damper, which is a monster, really. And yeah, so yeah, 1 minute just to the patch. So there is, for example, this structure is exactly the same on both sides, on both screen, the wind and the mass damper. The ambient animation is the same. The UI, the whole structure is similar. And so this is a different page. The page header is the same, but with different parameters, so it displays differently. So this is the 3D, the patch for the first one, actually, the tower here. The body. So it's a 3D rendering, basically, but there's a few 3D fluid going on, which was quite challenging to run properly. But yeah, and I mean, I guess that's it. And there's a lot of things to talk about.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, it looks so professional and so like top level in every aspect, the UI,
Yeah,
the
thanks.
graphics, the animations, and the patches, and the structure and the design behind it. So congratulations, and yeah, very inspiring. Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
talking about structure because the topic comes out quite often, I think, with the model and actually we had this this structure. I think it's main model. Yeah, here it's the structure of the content. So it's like every page, every content is a page in our system, and it has a name and ID, and
This is your
so
CMS, basically.
yeah, exactly. And they all come
Okay.
together, and then they are like read inside the patch here through the channel. So which separate both, and I think we had I don't remember, but we had also a pop-up. I don't remember the shortcut, but we had a pop-up with I'm GUI, so you can update the text directly from the computer without. This was for the clients to update their.
Oh, so a little backend to update the content even.
Yeah,
Wow.
simple in case they have to change one value or something. It's basic. It's not really a full CMS, but at least if they have a bit of a mistake somewhere, it's yeah.
Incredible stuff, man. Amazing. Really very inspiring again. Round of applause for this incredible project, I would say. And let's open up a little round of questions and comments. If anybody has it, I have a couple of questions, but I'll save them from now. Do we have anything on YouTube, Element, or maybe in the room, or anyone in the call for the Kunu?
How much days of patching? I mean, only patching. I mean,
On how many days of only patching?
Yeah.
Of. I mean, this is something like, I don't know, maybe about 8 months constantly. I mean, we patched everything, only Bjorn and me.
Wow.
So, and then we had also on the side to do the 3D rendering for the interior design and manage all kind of other things. So it's like yeah, I mean, it's about 8 months, I would say, maybe more actually. I don't know. I mean, the
We can
first
see
thing
this.
that started was the UI framework that we did to build all the object. This one took some research to do, but yeah, it's 8 months every day.
Good job.
We
Incredible.
can include it really.
Good to see.
And you
like,
keep, sorry, yes.
so good to see like this combination of like very good graphics, making like full use of the capabilities, while doing some proper application logic all around it. It's very nice.
Yes, they don't often come together.
Well-structured production.
Yeah, the graphics is really like tweaking, tweaking all the time. Then there is different kind of work going on. It's like there is the UI design itself, which needs to be carefully thought because people need to use it really quickly when they arrive. They need for that. I mean, some of you have worked on this kind of project. And then there is the graphics, which is really about tweaking, and then also the structure. It's yeah, it's because otherwise you can't find anything. So it's like crossing line are basically forbidden. But I mean, it's just a joke. Like Bjorn is patching really clear now also. We
Yeah,
I
team
can
up
see
really
his hand
nicely
in there.
together.
Yeah, yeah,
We can see his signature there.
absolutely. Yeah, beautiful stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, kudos to Bjorn, a big pillar of the community. You keep mentioning the UI library that you had to develop
Yeah.
custom for this project. What did
Yeah.
you end up using in the bottom? Is it Skia or is it something is it like a completely external third-party
No, it's
library?
Stride and Skia. It's the both
Okay.
at the same time. There is a system where you can create buttons. You can add the text. You can put them on top of a 3D rendering. You can create a 3D view. I mean, it's really basic. You can't make a really complex software UI, but for exhibition, it was enough to interact with a 3D rendering with 2 fingers, then maybe put a button on top and some some graphics, displayed the text correctly, because everything was rendered in 4K, so it has to be really clean, really sharp everywhere. So we wanted to make sure we had access to the size of the text correctly everywhere, and so there's different things. Some are Skia, some are Stride, and they are all combined together. I don't remember honestly, but yeah, it was something like maybe the body. Yeah, this is a text panel. This is a UI element, basically called control base 2D, and so you put them into a group, and then you can decide if this is like if you can touch or not, so you can disable it basically, or you can also tell if you put a button or an element on top of each other, you can tell if the touch is going through the whole stack or not. So this is how you can stop if you have a button you don't want to interact with the 3D behind at the same time. So you can say like this one doesn't let the event going through the next UI element behind it. So that was the
Always
main
an issue, yeah.
Yeah, this was the main things to solve early on in order to add button on top of the 3D, such as here, for example. And the 3D rendering is also a UI element where I check the color of it render. Maybe I can show you, because this is a funny trick and you can find it on the VL add-on. So 14 3D, is it? Yeah, this is a viewport drawer. So this is the UI element. The control base 2D is this is the 3D window. Then there's the viewport behavior, which actually you can connect if it's what kind of behavior you want, the touch, the zoom with 2 fingers, and then there is the drawer, which actually render the 3D on the object. And you connect the drawer. There was different kind of drawer for drawing different layout. I think it's how Elementor is working, and basically, I mean, the fundamental concept is the same. So, and then there is a control base 3D, which is the similar, but to interact with a 3D model. So then the parts are rendered, added, and then each part of the 3D model gets a color, and when you touch this color, the pipette will check the ID of the 3D object. And then also the camera system that Björn made is amazing, because it's like really smoothly fading between the different parts. So yeah.
We got another question from Thingy in the chat that says, if you restarted, what would you do differently? And I mean, you said you restarted 3 times anyway. So I guess if you restarted all over, what will you do
I would do
differently?
differently. Right now, honestly, nothing special the way it is. There's nothing I would do differently. I don't know. But the things I mentioned about redoing everything is like there was 2 different. For example, this schema was a bit complex because you have to design the schema itself at the same time as patching it. So like interacting with a 3D model like this, you don't have to design this except that the way it looks like and make it look cooler. But there was some like this one where we had to design how does this ID should look like, and we are programming it at the same time, which is more challenging. So it needed more iteration sometimes for the Win that has the Win touchscreen that has lots of schema going on, 3D stuff. I mean, in order to get the visual right correctly, you needed to have like different iteration in order to keep the style, having the color nice. And so it was patching wise, I don't know, it's a big system. So in the end it works and it's clean. We can find the things quickly. So this is all that matters, because at the end of the project, towards the final installation, this is where you have some bits and stuff that break sometimes. So it's really important that really quickly you find something. So you open 1, 2 page this, and then this object, and then it's this floating button, and then you get into this, and you can really quickly get to the issue or where you want to fix the issue. This is really crucial towards the end of the project. So usually the first patch, especially for visual things, they are messy because you have this moment of freestyling where you connect things in order to get the mood, to get the feeling. But then there was a lot of work each time where it was time to clean and to align and really always keep things tight, and then maybe come back to it later in order not to be flooded into a mess and not be able
Wow.
to manage anything at the end. Especially as we were only 2, I'm the only one programmer on site, and Björn came to help here for about like 10 days during the installation. So we were working remotely, but on site there's always something. So it was really important that at this moment we are ready to make things working everywhere. So
Absolutely. And you're shedding a lot of experience and knowledge there. But yeah, keeping things organized and tidy makes you a lot more efficient and usually saves you a lot of pain when things go wrong or they get difficult now. So
yeah,
again, a
and
big
also
source of inspiration.
tidying up the patch after. As I said, there is a moment of freestyling where aligning and cleaning things doesn't matter too much, but then refining and reorganizing helps you to kind of extract the structure slowly. You know, you can see that you have a group of nodes that are doing this and doing that, so you kind of design the structure at this moment. It didn't come out from the beginning like this. It was
Of course.
came out slowly, and then we think, okay, this is better outside of it, and so on, and then it becomes like this final structure. But
Super cool. I mean, I think we have to move on, but thank you so much again.
thanks for having
One of
me.
the best projects I've seen in a long time. So yeah, very cool stuff. And I hear some gossip going around that there might be some opportunity for you even teaching some of this texture effects and stuff. Maybe there's some conversations going on, so stay tuned. That'll be an interesting thing as well.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you again. Okay, very nice. Now, up next, we have Automat Jakob, who is
Yes, I'm here.
yes, here with us. He's been with us a few times, showing us very interesting and very different projects. Today, he's showing us a bit of a teaching side adventure that he's been on. The stage is yours, Jakob. Remember, please, to do the timer thing if you can.
Okay, 15 minutes.
Yes, please.
And shall I show you the timer? Show the timer to all?
Up to you.
No.
Okay.
Okay, start. Hey, thank you for the introducing in 3D for me from Le Cloneur. So yeah, I'm Jakob, live in nearby by Berlin, and yeah, I am a freelancer, an artist, and an instructor of some analog and digital workshops. And every week, I have a group with young students from 10 years till, or from, yeah, I think 10 years till 13 years. A small group with 7 people. And this is a course named Creative Coding in a school in Strausberg. And we have 3 hours every week to work. And I want to show what V4 is for. And because I like this very much. And yeah, so I try to catch the students to do something with vvvv at home. And yeah, in this case, vvv is very perfect to catch young students because there's no text, no text-based coding, and the eureka moment is very fast. You can show some animations, some visuals, some little games, and you can catch the people very fast. And in my case, my question is to the students, what we want to do, and mostly they want to create some little games. And yeah, today I want to talk about the 2D area of V4, the skier platform, skier engine. And yeah, we create some games together every week. Then I asked the students, what are you playing? And in my case, yeah, old games, something like I told about Space Invaders, Asteroids, Galaga, Defender, some old games. Also games, I talk about it because these are games we can create with Skier. And they say they play a lot of games on the smartphones and a lot of stupid games. I think if you have heard Cookie Clicker, a very stupid game, and you cannot learn something. I think. I think mostly you can learn click faster than the other. I don't know. I saw Flappy Bird was made by VV long time ago. I saw a YouTube video. And in my case, I focused on the 2D games like Space Invaders, or maybe for you familiar in the German game world was Moorhuhn, or Crazy Chicken was the name in America, I think so. Yeah, it's a little game where you try to shoot some chickens and collect some high score points. Yeah, in the 2000s, I think 2001. I don't know how old it is. And yeah, so I try to explain how this game works and what is the structure of the game. And now I want to share my screen. Where's the screen sharing stuff? Zoom working place. I have only opened I cannot see the.
If you move your mouse towards the bottom of the screen, do you not see a toolbar down there with a green button?
No, I just, yeah, I have to, I had minimized it. And sound, okay. So you see something? Yes, I think so.
Yes, we see a patch.
Okay, this is the patch, and this is a patch of this game named ADH ship game. Yeah, ADH. Something like the hyperactive syndrome stuff, and it's because when I look at my students in this age of 10 till 13, a lot of students are hyperactive, and yeah, it's very difficult to catch them in this age. But yeah, try my best. And yeah, I tell them what is the structure of a little game. And the first thing what you have to do is you have to create the renderer. Then you have to create a group and press a lot of times to control and plus, because you need a lot of layers. And you need a control unit. You want to control with the mouse or with the keyboards, or both, or touch. Yeah, this is structure. And I can show. I think I want to show the game at first. I want to start it and play a little round. You can play it if you want later. You can download it. It is an executable on. I uploaded in itch.io. So
Oh, nice.
I've started. Hear something?
Yes.
Okay.
The art is amazing, by the way.
So you can control the cross with the choice of your keys. In my case, it is the arrow keys, and then you can read something. This is the first menu, and then you can play and hit space. Enter for
Let's
full
play.
screen and play. And so you see the ADHS ship where you try to hit and try it in 60 seconds to hit it 5 times. And there are 3 levels. The first level is very easy, but the speed and the switch, the direction switch is very difficult in the next level, and the third level is very hard to show it.
Wow.
Come on. Yeah, it looks like a game of an old console. Right. And just made for like a demo. There are no 50 levels. Very difficult to create 50 levels, and there's now a counter on 10 seconds. I think there is no way to reach for me. Yeah, and then you can try it again with enter, or play it again and try your best. I don't want to click to quit because quit close the full vvvv gamma that kills the process. So I enter exit and press F8. So still, this is the game. This was an example for the students to show. Okay, that is something we can do in this in half a year, and yeah, so they try to build their own game with my instruction. Yes, and important is I want to go through the structure a little bit.
Sure.
And have a look at my counter. Don't know. Yeah, you need what you see the graphics. The graphics we created with AI. I just because it's very fast to create it and it's very difficult to create it by code, and for me. And so we need a lot of pictures and masks. We worked with layers like a circle, like rectangles and so on. And maybe the ship is a circle. And then there is a PNG file which is cropped and then used as a mask for the layers. And yeah, there's and you have to know, and I think you know that the group have an order, and when you put the layers on it, you have to think about it. What is the first layer? And because it's like papers where when you lay a paper on a paper in the everything what is on the last input of the group is on the top, and so you have to put in the first input the backgrounds And yeah, you see, maybe you saw that the background moves a little bit,
Yes, yes.
and I am when you create a picture in Sora, for example, in AI, you can remix this picture. And I remixed this picture for the background 3 times. So there's with a little difference between the 3 pictures, and then I created an GIF animation from it too. So I have a little more reality, not reality, more movements in the background.
Super
And
cool.
yeah, this is the background. This is the control unit. I created some nodes to reuse it for the games, because when you create this little node, this control unit with students, the hours are away and you can go home and you have do every hour do the same stuff. So you have to create some nodes which you can load in. So the same with the spaceships. Nothing special. Image reader, draw image, and yeah, the interactive stuff is made with very often with circle contains, rectangle contains, or circle intersect circle. So it's the easiest way, I think, to have an interaction. The point is the mouse, for example, or the point which you control with your keys. So then I have a node with text, and I have a node with audio. So that was my idea before. I'm a musician too, and I create a lot of music, some electronic music, and also I create the sounds of the shoots and the menu sounds with an old modular Nord micro controller, a synthesizer. So I want to have my own sounds and I want to have my own soundtrack. And that was the first idea. I want to make music for games, but there was no one who wants to make games for me. Well, yeah. So I have to make games to make music for it. Yeah. Control, yeah, there's nothing special so far. There's a counter, and then you have to think about when there are a lot of switches inside. Then when you switch the backward, when you switch to the menu, and when you have to disable some hitboxes so far. And yeah, there are some problems I've write down. Yeah, now I hear it. 15 minutes are gone. So my problems, I give you some introduce in my problems. For example, when you use the preset images for the background, it is difficult to resize or to have a good ratio on every screen. This is difficult because a round planet is not round in every ratio or size. So that is a problem. But when you want to make a big game, so you have to create your own backgrounds which are sizable, not like an image, or you have a fixed image and a fixed ratio. So, but then there's no way to have a nice full screen adventure. Yeah, and I try to reduce the GPU and the CPU stuff. I try to use some cache regions and so on. But I'm not a coder. I learned it by myself, and yeah, I don't work with classes and records and something that I'm interested in, but I don't get it so far for these projects. And yeah,
Okay.
I try to organize a structure which I can use in the next time to being faster.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, I try to work like a real developer, but it needs time to implement the real code in my brain. And I have
Well, I
some
mean,
other,
it's working.
yeah, it's working. It's very good prototyping stuff, but I don't know, imagine that I want to create some 3D games, open world game or something like that with vvvv. Maybe it is not made for it. Maybe it's possible. Yeah, and here I have some. This is my site, Automath itch.io, and there are some projects made with vvvv, a new synth MIDI sequencer, and yeah, you can download it for free and try it because I like the executable option of vvvv to have a
Absolutely.
product at last.
Mhm.
Yes, so I think that it was my presentation so far.
Okay, Jakob, well, thank you so much. Amazing. I mean, I love the graphics. Some people might not like the AI workflow, but I think in your use case, it's a perfect fit. No, you want things happening fast. You want to capture kids' imagination and keep them focused in your activity. So I think it's a perfect use case for it. Love the aesthetics, the whole glitch, acid, pixel art kind of vibe to it, and I think the project is really cool. What would you say is the most challenging thing of working with 10 to 13 years old, which I imagine is there must be a few of now.
The concentration. They have laptops,
Mm.
6, 7 laptops, and they have the option to they are connected with the internet. And so I know in my life as a student, we tried everything to do other stuff, not like to learn something in the coding information. So you have to watch what they do, and I say, when you get in time with me, when you can say I can code, I have the code or the patch like you, and you have time, then you can play something on the web browser, or you can whatever. Do it quiet. Don't talk to the other people to disturb. So that is the most difficult way. Some days are good. Some days are very difficult to catch them. But yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. And how do they react when they see they made a game like this one that they can play together and it looks cool and it has sound effects and all these stuff? Like, what's the reaction then?
yeah, mostly wow, and we can do this now. Yes, maybe not like this, but one level maybe, or and in the late is the courses have 1 year, and in the end of the course they often can create a little animation or little game and work over more over days on a project. So in the first time you have to bring examples which they can do in this 1 hour or in 2 hours and have this eureka effect to
Yeah, okay.
to say, yes, I made something with this and I like it to do this.
Well, I'm happy that you figured that out because that makes absolute sense and it sounds like you're pulling it off. No, I'm opening up the round for questions. We already have one from YouTube, which sounds like a job opportunity, Jakob. So it says you mentioned that you did project to make sounds for video games. Are you also open to do sounds for interactive art installations?
Yeah, maybe. My my experience is much more bigger in music than in coding or animation, and I would say let's try.
Okay. So they can find you as Automath. I think you have a YouTube channel also, no?
You have a lot of channels and
Can you hear me?
yeah.
You said you put the exe file on itch.io. Do you have any problems with when other people download it? Does Windows say like, this is like a crazy, we don't know where this file's from? Like,
It was a little bit difficult to understand you because of the acoustics.
Microphone, yeah, microphone's not very good there.
Tutu, how's that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you put the executable on itch.io, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any problems when people download that? They get like Microsoft security warnings or something?
I haven't heard something. Yeah, there is a Microsoft warning stuff because there are no licensed. I don't know. So you have to do it anyway. You press, execute it anyway, and then you can play it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Distributed.
Thank you. And thank you for the game
amazing.
audio player, Toby.
Oh, cheers. Yeah. Happy to use it.
Cool. But I think this executable thing is just the nature of things. No, you have it with the Gamma launcher, for example. You also have to allow it the first time and so on.
Yeah.
Anyway, do we have any more questions or comments for Jakob? Seems like a no for now. But maybe you should tell us where people could find you. Well, you showed us your website. Could you pull it up again, just so people can take a quick look at the URL?
I can post also the element chat and
yeah, that would be great.
This is the website.
All right, automath.itch.io. So head over there and download some games and fun things to play with.
Yeah, the very big platform for independent games and for little developer. So can upload stuff.
Can we see this on your user profile on vvvv.org?
Yes.
You have it linked there?
I can do this. There's no link, but I can do this.
Yeah, put it there.
All right.
And here can post it in Zoom.
Okay. Thank you again so much, Jakob. Congratulations. And keep teaching new kids and keeping them excited and bring them over to our beautiful community. Very much looking forward to that. Thank you for the good work there. Cool.
Thank you for the...
Sure. Up next, we have Michael from Schnelle Bunte Bilder with a game they've made for a museum. Welcome, Michael.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, thanks for having me. We're also going to show a game. It's a really gamey evening. So I'm quickly going to share the screen, optimize. So just one question. Maxime, can I put on the audio or will we have feedback? Okay, let's try. Having feedback already. Well, we don't really need the sound. So it's called Exhibition Into the Ice. It's the game, and this is happening in a museum. And I'm quickly going to show the trailer for what we did in this museum. So it's the Deutsche Schifffahrtsmuseum in Bremerhaven, which where we developed lots of digital experiences and installations together with Schweiz. And I'm just going
Friendly
to
reminder to start your timer, Michael. I forgot. Sorry.
Yes.
Thanks.
I thought it would start automatically.
We're not so far into the future just yet.
Oh,
Very disruptive. This maybe I can start it on my side and you can carry on, so we won't have to interrupt everything.
we can't start it when I'm sharing.
Yep, carry on. I'll do it over here.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so that's just to give you an overview where this game is happening in this museum, where we did like a couple of installations. The game is actually not shown here right now, but there are different other exhibits. And the documentation is also of this whole museum exhibition is on our website already. So there's different touch-based exhibits. Just going to let this play. Also some projection mapping, visual storytelling. Yes, I disabled it because I have some feedback, but it's hello. Okay. From the screen share, yeah, there's no sound of the video right now. Okay, and within this museum, we had another commission for a game where you could steer different vehicles, like a ship. The ship is here is Die Polarstern, is a German ship, which is used for, yeah, it's an icebreaker, exactly. We will see that in a second. And we have this physical input devices where you can actually steer the different vehicles. And I'm going really quickly through the wall of text, cheat sheet, show off facts. So we have 4 levels and missions. We have some game elements like exploring the ocean with ice breaking dynamics, deploying buoys. We have an EM radar, which you can steer with a helicopter, taking photos of deep sea creatures with an ROV, taking rock samples. It's a dynamic narration with 65 pieces of spoken dialogue. As I already mentioned, 3 vehicles, a ship, a helicopter, and the remotely operated vehicle, which is like a submarine, which each have their individual steering behaviors. We have the physical interfaces. We have the procedurally generated infinite ocean, sea ice, sea floor. We use some real-time audio engine. First time also using VSTs, for example, to have the dynamic helicopter sound, some hand-animated ocean fauna, yeah, flocking, name dropping. So, but that's basically the framework, and just some words about the design process. And it's just a really small excerpt. But what was most important is to have the steering of these vehicles, which is kind of realistic, but also really intuitive, because in a game in a museum, you have no learning curve. So you have to use it, and it has to be fun and work the first time. Like usual games allow you to kind of learn for a couple of hours, maybe, to really steer a vehicle. It has to be more simple, but still feel realistic and not out of place. So yeah, that's just a random peek into the storyboarding. And maybe interesting, the state machinery. So we use the state machine of W. Machen Bunt, the automator for this. And we actually have like 4 different state machines for each level, which are combined in a master state machine. I can, if it's of interest, I can also show it in the patch later. And maybe some screenshots now before I get into the game. So we have like the main core game mechanic is breaking through the ice, through different ice thickness, and steer your way through it. Then you kind of navigate the ocean. You set up a base camp. Then you also have the helicopter mission where you bring out these buoys for measuring different things. Yep. What you see here is basically the EM radar. That's the torpedo-like thing which hangs on the helicopter, and you measure the sea ice thickness with it.
Mhm.
And that's what it looks in the game, where you have these kind of topographic lines. That's where we already measured the thickness of the ice. And then in the end, we have the ROV mission. That's the remotely operated vehicle. And you get to go to the ocean floor and take some pictures of like a Dumbo octopus and some rare sea creatures. And then also go down to a black smoker, which are these underwater volcanoes. And you take a rock sample there and bring it back. Oh, thanks. Okay. So, and I'm going, sorry for going through it so quickly. So I'm going to have a look into the live patch. So this is what the game mostly looks like. So I can steer the ship here. Just move the camera a bit.
Oh, wow.
And so we kind of be a little bit realistic, like simulating also the 2 different motors of the ship. So depending which levers you use, behaves differently. Then we kind of move through the ice here. And depending on the thickness, we get through or might get stuck, which is actually how this ship does work. So if it does get stuck, it has to kind of back up and ram the ice. That's how this kind of icebreaker works. So kind of back up. And then we collect some steam and try to continue through the ice.
Nice.
Okay, so we have this this environment. Oh, sorry for that. I don't know how that happens. It happened for me before. I have to just bring back my renderer. So we have this environment, which is using obviously a lot of hues and generative shaders. And we also always have like the sea floor visible here, which we will explore later. I don't know, I'm doing some kind of shortcut to close the thing. So we have all happening in this kind of sphere. So we can always see like the sea floor and the ocean. And I could try to use this channel here so we can kind of lower the whole environment. So later, if we go underwater, the sphere will basically fill up with ocean water. Yeah, I'm just going to jump into the helicopter mission. Since I didn't start the timer, I have no real idea I'm doing on time.
We have around 6 minutes to go still.
Okay. So I'll just continue showing some elements of the game, then maybe of the patch. So this is the helicopter mission. where you bring out the buoys. And what I was talking before is that we kind of try to be a bit realistic about how, for example, a helicopter does work. So we so if we steer it, like first the rotor is moving and then kind of the helicopter actually follows. So it's a bit of physical behavior, but it's of course really simplified. So you can use it with only one joystick, because in a helicopter you also have like foot pedals to control different elements. But that's like the yeah, trying to find the balance. I can throw my buoys here. So yeah, we kept, of course, we kept some elements so you can throw as many as you like because it was fun. So we kind of threw the realism overboard here. Yeah. Okay, so maybe like a quick look into the patch. The lines will be crossed. But I'm trying to show the basic structure. So we have like a scene manager, and we have like these 4 scenes, which are the missions. And if I go into like one of these missions, we have like one big chunk, which just sets always the state of the whole world, of the game world. And for example, where are all the vehicles? Because the helicopter mission starts from the ship. So first you move the ship through the ice, then you set up camp, and from that on, the ship has to stay there and you move away from the ship. So you have to reset and initialize lots of game elements. And then you have the actual content where you have like the missions, which are activated based on the automata. So that's basically what happens more or less inside a mission. And then we kind of choose which mission is played right now. And over here we have the world, which describes all the elements in the game, like the ocean itself, then the different ships, and the ROV, the helicopter, the fauna. And so we are using these and adjusting these based on where you are in the game. Yeah. Then it's like a classical structure of rendering, audio, and the narration, which is, in this case, we actually just used an Excel file. Didn't really use the CMS here because it is really static. And to play back the audio dynamically.
And how come narration is connected to rendering but not to audio?
I don't know.
Sorry. All good.
It's only the part of the narration that is rendered, that is connected, I would say.
Makes perfect sense.
And yeah, so it's always like but that's maybe an interesting point. I usually try to keep things readable by connecting everything, yeah, data flow like with lines. I'd like to keep it like that way, but of course you're still using like channels and sending objects which contain things. So there will be stuff ending up in audio from narration, but it's not readable here. But that's maybe, yeah, it's an interesting question. Yeah. Yes. So I can quickly jump into the ROV mission.
Two minutes left. Just
yeah. Okay, loading screen.
Beautiful loading screen, by the way.
At this point, you already set up the camp and have a hole in the ice where we can start the ROV mission. Yeah, and we have a lot of interactive camera work, which was also quite challenging to always switch between interactive moments and storytelling moments. For example, here we start really close at the ROV. But then, yeah, as we descend into the ocean, we kind of back up the camera to understand where we are, where we need to go. And as we get closer to the ocean floor, we will zoom in again. Yeah, maybe at this point also shout out to our intern, Tony, who did quite a lot of these animations, like of the whales we see here right now. Try to zoom in a bit.
Beautiful work.
Yeah, we're using the VAT, vertex animation textures for this. There's a contribution. We had to tweak it a bit and extend it a bit, but ended up working quite fine. So we can kind of meet our octopus friend here and take a photo. Oops.
You and the lens flare, you guys.
Okay, I think that's it. Sorry for being a bit random and unprepared, but maybe we can also answer some questions if there are any.
Absolutely, no need to apologize. Big round of applause. Beautiful stuff. Again, another super high-end looking, completely professional product. Very nice to see. Also quite complex. No, you're dealing with multiple vehicles, different types of missions, details all over the place. It's very impressive to see. Am I correct to assume that this is the same project several ones showed a bit of at Link? Because I remember you had some dolphins with a container ship thing also.
Yeah,
Is
that's
somehow
within,
related to that.
that's another project, another installation in the same museum. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Super cool stuff, man. Also very interesting to see the differences in how you guys structure your patches compared, for example, to what we saw from Le Clonure before and so on. No, like for example, you guys are making more use, like you said, of channels, which, as you also said, changes a bit the readability and how things are organized in the patch. So very interesting to see how different teams approach different or similar, more or less, projects, but with different solutions. So very cool. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for Schnelle bunte Bilder? Yeah.
SPV.
Did you use the entity component system for the game, like in the way it's meant to be, straight, like for object management, the components and stuff?
No, actually not. But I think we should have maybe. It's a bit custom. Yeah, maybe the one complicated thing was the whole water rendering, because we had it really custom. So we had to kind of do separate rendering for everything above the water, below the water. So we have like a custom like scene description. It's called where you just it's just a custom group where different 3D assets are combined. I can quickly show it. So here in the rendering, in the very end, we get like the scene description of every component, and then kind of decide how to render it, like below the surface as a planar reflection on sea level, and then yeah. So it was kind of custom. So maybe that's why we didn't really use the component system. Yeah.
Another one more question. Yeah, how'd you do the cool sphere crop effect?
Hard to answer and quickly. So it's a mixture of ray marching, some elements, but some are just classic 3D meshes, and we are just using like a. You see the ship is cut off. That's the regular mesh, and so the sphere is actually a 3D mesh sphere. All the ocean floor stuff is ray marched, but the ice is actually a 3D mesh. So it's a wild mixture to really actually be able to pull it off with like 60 frames in 4K. So you could have ray marched a lot more, but it was way too expensive. So we had had to use lots of tricks to get it done. Yeah, so the main effect is just to cut off based on depth. Yes.
So it's like does that mean it's like an SDF cutoff for the ray march and like a geometry shader cutoff for the meshes?
Yes, for the meshes, it's actually happening mostly in pixel shader. Yeah. So at the very end, you just, based on the depth, you just cut things away. And if you combine it cleverly with layering and the ray march stuff, then it looks kind of convincing. Yeah.
I mean, it looks beautiful. I'm a big fan of this one. You have quite a few things happening on YouTube from Paque to we get the question, did you do anything in the Stride engine, like the Stride editor, or was everything done without any issue directly inside of V4?
It was all done in V4, but we have like very few like classical level layouts. It's mostly generative, the whole environment, and we only have like a couple of assets in the end. And then we mostly use the VAT, vertex animation texture, for these animated meshes. So no, we didn't use the level, the editor, the Stride engine editor. We looked into it, but we didn't really need it in this case because we didn't have to place by hand a lot of assets and things. And there's actually not that many like textures and materials being handled because they are mostly procedural. So there wasn't the need really.
Okay. Now from past studio, we have some love, wow, next level, and work, fire. And then from Simone Marin, we have how do you break the ice? Asking for a friend.
So I didn't get it. How do you
break the ice? How did you manage to get the effect of the ice breaking away in chunks?
Yeah, so that's basically all the chunks or the breaking. So it's texture based. We kind of draw a control texture where the ship is going, and then we use a pipette. I can go to the ship mission quickly to decide how thick the ice is. It's just a gray scale image that tells us how thick the ice is, and this kind of slows the ship dynamics until it gets stuck. And the ice here in the front, which is 3D, is just a looping animation, which is fading in based on the thickness of the ice. So the game mechanics breaking is texture-based, 2D basically. And then everything else is just eye candy.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it looks really convincing. One last question is, in terms of your usage of views, did you have to write code manually, or were you able to do everything just with the views node set without having to write shader code and so on?
We did also write some custom shaders. Like, for example, I showed like ages ago, I showed this Tavi contribution, geometry shader, small thing, which is used here for like these dynamic cables, C cables. This was not done in Stride because I couldn't really figure it out how to combine it with the geometry shader world yet.
Okay.
But mostly we use Stride as is.
Super cool. Love this shadow effect of the text on the water also. All these little details really add up. The UI, what about the UI? It also looks very custom and fancy. Anything interesting to share on that front?
No, it's really custom skier. So the UI here is only information because we have this actual physical UI in the museum. So this is like kind of representing what the physical levers are doing. We use the fidget system for that. which worked really well. Yeah.
Super cool. Thanks again for sharing, man. I really love the project, love the aesthetics, everything about it. So very cool. Thanks again. Okay, up next, all the way from Montreal, we have Rafael, who is at the museum. Oh, I hear something. Okay. So from Montreal, we have up next Rafael, who is at the museum on his latest exhibit, ready to show us what he's been up to. Welcome, Rafael.
Hi, hello everybody. My network is not perfect here, but tell me if it's working or not. Yeah, so just like for a quick introduction, I'm an artist and I'm working with the vvvv for a long time. I think I got my vv beta in 2007 for in art school, and I worked on it for around 10 years, mostly for shows of dance, theater, music, events, shows. And then 2019, I came in Montreal for a job with the Cirque du Soleil. And at that point, I had to jump on Notch, other software for that was the deal. And so yeah, basically, I had to jump on other software and other project, and I decided to stay in Montreal for another project with another circus company called Seven Fingers, and especially for one of them lab they introduced. So Lab 7, that was like a place where to explore new technology and media art and maybe live arts, live show performance circus mainly. And in the same times, another company Rise close by called Supply and Demand, and the two companies live in the same building here. And so one of them, Seven Fingers, is a surface company, and the Supply and Demand is more about installation, museum, immersive installation. And I work with both of them. So and just two projects, depending on. So yeah, could find out some moments, maybe around here for what work we've done for both of them. But for the last year, I worked with different software, Notch, Unreal, and for the last 2 years, I bring back vvvv in my workflow slowly, because I had to relearn the camera and break my break my bones a bit on it. But the projects came one after the other, and the vvvv gamma find its place perfectly. So there is, and especially for the last projects I want to show you, it was called The Man Who Planted Trees, with based on a movie, animation movie of 30 minutes. You can watch it online for free on YouTube. It's an animation movie and made was in the 70s, and went some prize. It's the story of a man who passed his entire life to plant trees on the valley and gave birth to a new life to this dead valley. Anyway, it's like a poetic and ecologic tale. And so the exhibition is around that movie. So we explore the question of the nature, the ecology, and that movie. So it's like an intertwine between the movies and some scientific exploration. And for so there is like 3 installation in that exposition that run with vvvv that I made, and I think and for 2 days, and the exhibition is running just for us because it's closed for the public. But, I open it, and maybe we work around with my laptop. You know, it will be successful with the network everywhere, but I will certainly first share some pictures and video. But after that, we can work around, and I can show you some of the stuff.
Get the private tour. Yeah, amazing.
Exactly, just for us. So I will share. I'll share first. Stream. Share. Okay. Which do I share which screen do I
Yes.
share?
We see your file explorer and some video files.
Okay. So maybe just the teaser of the show itself first, and tell me if you see something.
Yep, we hear it and it's loading up. Yeah.
So this is the piece that I want to make a review. Good. Yeah. So that was the show, and so there is like a main place, and the lobby. There is two interactive installation that I can show you at one point, and then so one of them is I can show you really quickly. I can walk around, so I can show you quickly here. It's interactive wall. Yeah, okay, just pause vvvv quickly. Yeah, run. Thank you. So it's interactive wall, and we have found some little animal around the forests, hidden. That's hidden things. So a searching pine with the lidar, and this is sound each time there is something and a score, and so yeah, it's like there's like a sound and. So yeah, it's always the lidar. You can work around here. My patch is not really nice, but anyway. And so there is also another installation with the AI. So eyes to Debian for this. I'll show you. But the main object I want to talk about is this interactive tree that I did. So this is the first test we tried with the company where we build the trees. So it's an interactive tree like React to people. And now just live, but there's mixed sounds already. So just to see, just a difference to the crew who made it. It's a company here in Montreal that's build a lot of amazing stuff. So let's make a big up to them. Just some detail of this. Yeah. So the leaf are printed like they have a huge printer, like the size of of my bedroom, to print those big leaf over there. And yeah, so we explored tech materials to see how the light passed through. And yeah, it was the first try the branches and objects like that. The first branch was more for full metal, painted in white, and yeah, it was a big job from them. And yeah, it was the first time that some stuff make happen like that. Yeah, it was like the material is really amazing, working with light. And so yeah, lead by lead and how to wear it. And yes, it was the first time I came in the workshop to connect stuff and took my camera. And so I think I have a video. Where is it? And we play with it. So this is, yeah, this is the same. This is the same video. So this is the same crew who made the this time they make the object alive that they work on for many months, and constantly. They basically, yeah. So it was during the montage. First time I worked with other light for cinema and other DT around, and yeah, it was maybe the video to understand a bit more the patch, but I worked through them with that. So it's all working with Fuse, and I merged like three different orbit camera view, and every point cloud of the capped determine the distance, and then we can. It's like a huge three-dimensional theremin in a way. So we have like a 720 points to control. So it could be some nodes to MIDI that are sent to a Reaper, and those compared to the sun. And we can play whatever you want, light and sound. So something like that. And so there is like a so there's like 5 season for common season, and the 5th one that is more like a stormy and effect. Yeah. Mm. So that's something like that. So you see the patch is something like that, and you see I can control the different lights around and hues around. And yeah, I don't know if I start to talk about this here or if I work around.
We have about 5 minutes to go. Of course, we can go a bit longer if you need, but our initial timer is about 5 minutes left.
Okay. I will try to stop sharing for a bit. Yeah, and we work around with my computer. I know I'm going to the place where the Wi-Fi is not really good. That's anyway.
Fingers crossed.
So this is the interactive game. You can see. Yeah.
We can see it. Sorry, Maxime, can we somehow make him full screen? Is that an option on the stream? Oh, I think it is happening. Yep. Carry on. Never mind.
So yeah, but so the LiDAR here. Do you hear me? Yes, okay. And so if I find something, it's always like each time there's an animal that's coping, and so we have to find there's like 8 bees to find, and we have like to find all the bees. Anyway, and collect the object, and if you find everything, of course, like a reward. And there's like the days and the nights happening, so a loop of 15 minutes running.
Nice.
So yeah, the kids love it, and so they spend a lot of time there. Yeah, so they do that. So it's at the beginning of an exhibition here, and this is the end. So if people can come back at the end and do it again, that's they do. And go quickly to the other station. Like it's okay around.
It's like being there in the flesh. Yeah.
So this is the AI station. So maybe you transform it to
mushroom. I see Tavian's hand there. Yes.
Yeah, of course. So there is like mushrooms and flowers happening like in 4 different places. It's like I don't know, use resolution and speed, so it's amazing. People love it as well.
Beautiful stuff.
Flower as well. I can spend a lot of time here, but it's working as the charm. And go to the first. So you discover the place.
Okay, let's see if the Wi-Fi stays with us there. We might have just lost him. Let's just hope he comes back. I heard something. Seems like a no. Let's wait a minute, maybe, see if Rafael can get connected once more. And I'll use this little gap of time to remind you of the announcements we had at the beginning. We have a new upcoming course on UI frameworks and patterns, February 26 and 27 by Flegma, and a tracking course for Level Strip, all on the Node Institute for you to check. Rafael, are you back with us?
Yes, I think. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah,
we
I think,
lost you there for a second, but you're back.
Yeah,
Looking
I
good.
think I switched network in a way somewhere. And
Okay,
yeah.
welcome back.
So,
Wow,
yeah, around the trees,
wow.
quite
It's
fast.
super reactive. Yeah, it's very
Yeah, yeah.
reactive.
I had to slow it down because the people are like going
Oh,
crazy on it,
wow.
but it's really, really fast. So yeah. You know, so it's passing through the like the storm sessions that's more dark. And it's not
Wow.
by hand, so it could be like just the feet or whatever on objects.
You could
So,
even
yeah.
throw a ball at it or something, no? It would
Yeah, like
detect stuff.
if I put a chair or something like it will work.
Uh-huh.
So, anyway, that's so it's working. Let's see the storm effect right now. But yeah, I don't know. Like go back to my main space. Can you quickly show you the rest of the installation? But yeah, I won't do all the visit, but the small objects interactive as well. Like, so you cap the ends. I use a yellow detector to get the ends and push the leaf. Reveal another the behind. Anyway, I don't know how much I have.
Lovely. We're basically we just ran out of time, but it's looking
Okay.
lovely. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to show us wrapping up?
Yeah. There's a lot of projects I'm doing currently with vvvv. That's I'm not sure it's like a time to work around, or maybe there's some question with the patch or. Sure.
Yeah, maybe let's see if we have any questions from the audience or people watching online. I mean, that was amazing stuff. Very nice to see it live also, which is an experience we don't get all the time. So do you have any questions back in Berlin?
Yeah.
Or Rafael? Yeah.
Once again. So what did you say the sensors were? Orbeck? What model?
Yeah, Allback, yes. The Femto Mega.
Yeah. And did you use there's like a Femto that has a computer built in, or do you use the USB one?
No, the Ethernet.
Oh, say it one more time. It
The
broke
network Ethernet.
Okay.
The one RG45, like the Ethernet.
Okay, great. And then did you say there was 3? Do you do like a data fusion? You know, so that it doesn't, like if you've got 2 of them and they see the same person, do they do some data fusion to work out it's the same person, or it's like something else?
Yeah, it's like I merged all the 3. I can show quickly the patch, but I merged the patch. You see my screen now? I can't share anymore.
No, not yet.
Yes. So basically, this is my flash, and so I take so 3 camera here. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, but I did a system that can I want to try with 8 camera, and it was working. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I can just add how many cameras I want. Select the ID of them. So this is the patch on my computer, so it doesn't detect the camera here. And then I merge the data to one texture. And after that, I just sample the textures in a weird way. It was like an old way I did. Like it was not dynamic for more than 3 here, but so yeah. So I get the texture for the 3 camera once we run the row. So And after that, that's not a good patch. And after that, take an objects that move all three of them. I have a little controller here to move every camera, trigger the color, and then move them around. And after that, yeah, like basically generate the point cloud, take a remark object that crop the point cloud, because I don't want to the trees that don't want the tree trigger itself. So I crop the point clouds where the trees, where the ceiling, the leaf, whatever. I don't want to crop any objects in the way that I want to. And I get a pen buffer to get only the point cloud of the people or the space where I want to get people. And just to make a quick operation of distance, will be distributes between them. So
Great. And you don't get the skeleton data or anything. It's just point cloud.
no, just point cloud, and so the I didn't see anything. Or is it?
You just need to know the like closest point to the
the closest
radio.
point. So is possible to make like better as small.
Yes.
But, so I just look everything, and so it's more solid in a way, because we don't. I don't look at skeleton that are always anyway. It's not stable at all. There's no problem of one people passing by the other. It's just all about proximity, so it makes the interactive really intuitive. You get it, something getting closer, it's working. Yes, it's working all the time.
Right.
And and at the end, just send some cues with ArtNets. I have to work on the version with a SACM that cnisidis did for me at one point. It was like I need to work on the SACM version, but it's working with ArtNets. And this part has sent some MIDI to my colleagues, and then that's other command to get some other lights in the above. And some cue to the brain Emma for different that's it, I think.
Great, thanks. Yeah, network depth sensors finally. Great.
Network depth sensing finally, he was saying. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it's working really good. I like it.
Also nice to see extensive use of the V4 timeliner in the wild, a big project like this. I think it's the first time I see someone actually using it.
Yeah, I use it. I do a lot. And use on Spawn, and I use also in the research and find. It's really convenient. I love it. So
super cool. Thank you, Rafael, for showing us and taking us around the museum. Amazing projects, amazing experience. Thank you so much. Hope to see you back soon. Okay, we have two more presenters. Up next, you know him well. You know his gray mane, famous around the world. We have none other than Tebian himself. Are you around, Tebian? Maybe not.
He's not there, like on Zoom at the moment.
Okay, that's okay. In that case, let's move on all the way to Athens, Greece, to Mr. cnisidis himself. How's it going, Konstantin? How are we looking?
Amazingly good. Can you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Perfect.
Right.
So, yeah, I will just present some arbitrary stuff. I will probably start with this Olama thing that we were discussing also lately for the AI in the forum. It is a big thing, I guess. I suppose, of course, what I'm gonna present, it's not a copilot, it's not contributing anything really to the vvvv universe or experience. It is just, let's say, an experiment in order to get more familiar with LLMs and what they can do in a local level. I will share my screen now.
Cool.
Okay. Normally you can see my internet connection is unstable. Sorry for that. What you see is basically a chat, right? Where I can write things, I suppose, like hello. And now the machine, can you read the letters, by the way, the words? Is it readable?
Yeah, we can read. I can read.
Okay. So this is my assistant. It's Marcus Aurelius Antonius, the Roman emperor. And I will now ask him firstly to reverse his name. Can you reverse your name? And probably he will do mistakes. Yeah, of course he did. If you try to read this reversed,
doesn't work.
Marcus, yes, it doesn't. So the thing is that I was really keen to add some tools. So I will ask him to, can you try again, please? And now he used the tool, and now he reversed it properly, correctly. And in that way, I have added just some quite stupid tools, like for instance, if he can bring me, let's say, something using internet, get or yield, maybe yield a person, and then a quick story about them. Now, normally he should use, no, he didn't. He should use another tool, like maybe if I say random person. Yeah, he did. So, yeah, it's basically what we know as well from RAG. He is asking for information from a given address over the internet, and he's then trying to just, compile all this stuff and make something up with them. It can do a lot of things, like maybe add some numbers. 2 and 5, of course, it's not the most clever LLM. This normally should do it on its own, but again, using a tool is always more precise and gives much better results. Just to have a look around. Yeah, this discussion came up, of course, basically, firstly, for the tools, how I can get benefit of having a local LLM. At some point, I was completely lost in this ocean of information, different implementations, and so on. And suddenly, I discovered accidentally the MCP, which was the model context protocol. It's not implemented in this solution, to be honest. I did only a few steps, still trying and mangling to make it happen. What else do I have here from tools? Yeah, of course I have some tools that they are playing with my directories, not really safe. I wouldn't do it in a live demonstration. Yeah, like maybe this one to list the content of a C temp file, and then of course you can filter out, and you know how an LLM works more or less. Nowadays, it's a very common thing. Again, this has to do more with the security, since it runs locally. It has to do about sharing. It has to do about propriety, or how you may basically protect, let's say, sensitive things or stuff. Yeah, but this is the Olama. I'm pretty sure that I saw also another VL Olama recently in the forum. I can't find it at the moment. I was pretty sure it was there. If anybody knows or has any hint, please let me know. I don't know if there's any point at the moment to release this or try even to, but maybe in the future, why not? So that was the one thing. That was me mangling with LLMs. Also, I realized that I need an LLM in order to write proper English to this LLM, but that's fine. And now let's see this one thing that I would like to release. Where is it? Oh. Huh. Okay. A moment.
Did your LLM delete your demo files?
Can be sometimes. I know it happens. No, the other one is about SACN, a very well-known protocol for it's, let's say, the a sensor, basically the successor of DMX protocol of ARTNet. And there was also another discussion regarding this thing recently, and I promised that I will just wrap it and create a few examples, like for instance, unicasting. For who you may know, or maybe for who you maybe don't know really how this is working. Usually you have universes, the same logic as in the DMX. You have universes. Each universe has 512 channels. Each channel is representing a byte, and some groups of bytes, or each byte is corresponding to a channel of a fixture, a logical channel. So far it's the same exact logic, the same exact approach. The difference is that you may use thousands of thousands, like it's 2 in the 9th, and the power of 9th universes in total. It has a very clever layering, and I can show you how this is being received in SACN viewer. It's just a ramp. It's going from left to right. I have 2 different universes, basically, 5 and 10. But I said that this is the unicast, right? Yes, this is the unicast, of course. It's the unicast. I'm sending it to my physical address over here. This normally is sensitive information, but that's fine. And the same goes the other way around. Of course, you can receive, and you can also multicast. Again, here's the multicast addresses. This is the dedicated port for the protocol. And these are again my animated DMX values. So I guess it's quite straightforward, it's simple. People that they are working with light disks and light in general, they can find this quite useful, I guess. So I think that this was for today. It was a bit quick, it was fast. So if you have any questions, remarks, please shoot me.
Absolutely, very cool. I mean, yeah. Yep.
I will use it for my trees.
You already have a client. There you go.
Yeah, but we talk about it like in the forum. It's like
yes, we did.
That was me.
Okay, just give me a second to see your face, because again I'm lost in Zoom and I can't find you guys. Perfect. I will stop sharing for a moment. Wait.
Sure.
Come back. Cool.
That was Raphael talking to you from Canada.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know how it's time to implement it, but yeah, this is my first friend. But thank you again. Yes.
Great.
It was like a big discussion because everybody around was using SSC, and I was the only one that I can only do art. So.
Yeah, I think it's working at the moment. It's a vice versa thing, and yeah, it uses both multicast and unicast as it should.
That's so good. Thank you.
And so you were saying I could use V4 with this to control my light setup, but I could also receive messages from a separate controller and use V4 to somehow interact with the lighting events.
Precisely. And that was, for me, it was the other way around. I mean, the one that you just mentioned, it was mostly to consume data from the light desk and transfer them in the VV universe rather than controlling the lights.
Very cool.
And that's because of basically of the, the stages and stuff that it's usually, it makes more sense to our affairs. It's more related.
To put their hands on it, they can totally go to GitHub and
definitely
download it and get it working. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. Well, thank you, Konstantin. Very cool on both ends, the LLM stuff and this light control protocol. Very cool. Thank you again for spending some time with us. Do we have any questions or comments for Konstantin, Berlin, or otherwise?
You don't know about it, but you will have another appearance today.
Okay. All right. Well, if we don't have any more questions for Konstantin, Motzi just reached out, as you just saw him, and he has a surprise little show and tell for us. So Motzi, the stage is yours. Welcome as always.
Sorry, just got managed to unmute my microphone. Yes, I would like to show you a little work in progress that I have been started to work on in the last weeks or months, and I will share my screen for that because I think that makes more sense. So, am I allowed to share a screen?
You should be.
Oh, yeah, there it is. So, this is my screen. What I will show you is, oops, somewhere hidden around here. I'd like to talk about a topic that I recently dropped in, which is about something that could be really useful for many of us, which is Home Assistant. You might have heard of this. This is like in the recent year has been developing like to the main or the biggest ecosystem around smart homes. But actually, I'm not very much interested in smart homes, but I'm more interested in building media installations. And actually, I found out that this could really be like a big thing for us as well, because this ecosystem grew so much that it's really incredible. I'll just show you some things on the website, because there's, apart from Home Assistant, which is mainly about, controlling stuff in your home, like your lighting, your shades, your, I don't know, power outlets, whatever, your AC control and stuff like that. Basically, right now, there's almost anything that wants to be smart integrated into Home Assistant. And I mean, those things here are just featured plugins, but the entire list, I mean, just look at the scroll bar here, is amazingly long. So anything that somehow can communicate with something to control with has already some kind of integration in here. And because of its sheer size, everybody who does stuff that wants to be smart is trying to get in there. And the nice thing about this is it's actually, I think it, as far as I know, it's a project that is open source, but it is kind of maintained by a company. And they also have some kind of layering, what kind of level this integration has. So there's some ranking. There's platinum, gold, silver, bronze, and stuff like that. And you there's lots of integrations that are community maintained, and lots of integrations if you reach a certain level that are being integrated into the core. And I found this really useful because and at the beginning, you just think, okay, there's things like, you want to maybe control outlets, smart plugs, get stuff that you can easily buy off the shelf, like, motion sensors into V4, because that could be really useful. There's one particular integration, though, that I really also found pretty interesting, which is called ESP Home, which is actually a separate project, but is also like as an integration available in Home Assistant. And ESP Home is a project that really works very well with most of the ESP32 kind of microcontrollers, not only those, but some others as well. And the idea basically is here that this is also like some kind of ecosystem where you just write YAML configuration files that are using different sensors and other parts in there. And also here, when you look up the page that shows all the stuff that it actually supports, this is a really long list of lots of sensors. Stuff that I used to do, which is like building custom Arduino-based code files in C that integrates all the sensors, could be kind of taken away, that the hassle of creating those could be taken away, because in the end, you're just creating those YAML files that kind of integrate those things and give you a nice interface for that, that also at the same time is available then in Home Assistant. And then, of course, when it's in the Home Assistant ecosystem, you can access it from anything that can talk to Home Assistant. So let me just give you a short, very, very, very basic. I mean, I guess you could like talk for many workshops on this topic. And to be honest, I'm not a real specialist in that area as well, but I just started. So the Home Assistant, the interface looks like this. You can, I'm on the overview dashboard, you can build your custom dashboards. You can, in the settings here, there's those devices and integration things, and you can add just integrations that you find in this repository, or you can find it here. So for instance, I here have like a integration for Zigbee and for Meta, which is, standards to communicate with home control, home devices like those plugs and stuff like that. MQTT has a very important role in this whole ecosystems as well. And when you have these integrations can have devices, and devices themselves showed up as entities, which is basically, for instance, like if you have got a plug like this plug like this is something that is just a binary switch that it can turn off and on, but it additionally could also give you like the, I don't know, the power or the energy that it consumes at this moment as another value. So like one device could have like several entities that are part of this. And then when you have like this ESP Home integration here, you can integrate your ESPs into this. And I just want to show you a little setup that I just had to rebuild on the way, because I messed it up on the way here. What you see here is like a tiny version of an ESP32, which is costed like, I don't know, a few euros. It's actually really cheap. That has connected some stuff that like encoders. There's an RFID reader. There's a servo motor. There is some LED strip here, and here in this ESP Home Builder, you can actually kind of integrate those ESPs. You can edit a configuration file. So this is what one of those YAML files look like. For instance, what do I have here? For instance, I have like this RC522 SPI sensor, which is this RFID reader here. You just need to configure it on which pins it communicates, how fast it updates, where it should actually publish something, because there's, just the basic stuff is very often not enough. You need to like have some conditional stuff in here. And once you've done this, and this ESP here is integrated in your system, you can just say install this, and it will upload over the air to the sensor. So once you have it in your system, once you can just leave it anywhere, and as soon as it has Wi-Fi connection, you can just upload and update the stuff. And I just go back here to the overview dashboard, and the dashboard just shows up all the entities that are available, and you can assign those entities to certain areas. You can also build automations that within Home Assistant does some stuff like when it's in the morning or when you come home from work or whatever. However, just for this example here, this ESP here, I just had to reintegrate it, and I forgot to give it a nice name. So this name is right now quite long, but this here has this onboard LED that I can control. Oops, that's not use my smartphone because it has NFC, and I'll just hold it over my RFID reader, and it should actually, yeah, there's some RFID codes that you see here. And also here, there's this LED, where is it? So you can see there's this LED strip. I will just turn it on. For the LED lighting, you have several options. For instance, it has a very basic mode where you can just change colors. But it also has some, oops, what was that? Never seen this. Okay. It has also like predefined custom effects, like, okay, there's like this rainbow effect. Sorry, it's out of focus, but I think you can get the idea of what it's doing. And cnisidis, you might know E1.31, which is just a different name for SACN, this protocol that is being used to do modern lighting over the network, which is just appearing here as an effect. So, and those effects that you can see are just configured. I can choose which kinds of effects I want. There's lots of pre-configured effects. But yeah, there's one effect that allows you to just send SACN data to this device here. Of course, so you can see, just to give you an idea, this is very powerful. And the idea was, okay, how can I get this into vvvv so that I can bi-directionally control this all? And as I told you, there's this MQTT integration, and a part or some integration that you can also install is the MQTT state stream, which is basically a way of mirroring the entire device or the entire state of Home Assistant over MQTT as topics. So that was my initial way of getting to know this. So for instance, when you look here in vvvv, I now have like basically a bunch of topics where everything that is an entity is being made available in a topic, and I can also just subscribe to this topic to get some data from this. So for instance, I have here one of those topics that is from a motion sensor. So over here, you can see from IKEA, a motion sensor. When I start moving this, I will get an update and says, okay, this is now in here. Also, looking over here, another thing for this board that I just configured, I have a button here. When I just press this, I get the state update. So this is quite simple. However, this is just now data that is being sent from Home Assistant into vvvv. The other way back would also be interesting, because maybe I want to turn off and on some lighting, or I want to control something that is happening in Home Assistant. However, the MQTT state stream does not do this. It just mirrors the state, sends it outward, but it doesn't have a back channel. However, Home Assistant is really flexible, and it has something called automations. Automations is basically a way of defining some YAML file that also has some logic. If something happened, then please do something. And I started to think, okay, maybe I can use this also for an MQTT back channel. And to be honest, with the help of a lot of wipe coding and nice AI features, it was quite easy. Let me just go here. Actually, Home Assistant here runs, I can run a Visual Studio Code server. It was quite easy to get some kind of back channel that actually, for most of the entities that I just defined here, has some kind of generic way of dealing with MQTT topics. So this thing here listens to a certain set of commands that is generic, so it can be any name, so it doesn't really matter like what name I give them. And I can now also send stuff back into this thing. So let me show you another example. For instance, here I have on my board this onboard LED light that I now turn off and on, or just toggle it, stuff like that. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Let me just show you a little more advanced example with the LED strip. So what you see here, this thing here is just an entity. Sorry, I'm going back to my overview dashboard. So in here, I have my ESP home, blah, 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 RNT LED strip, which is the stuff that I just showed you before, where I can where is it actually? Oh, it's down here. Sorry, got lost somewhere. So stuff that I can control here actually is also being back communicated to this here. And if I decide on this side to change something, the color, that is also immediately taken into account. And I also get an idea about if it's on, what kind of brightness it does have, because actually the brightness I have here is not the same. Let's change this to some higher value. And you see, this is all kind of nice because the communication back and forth works quite flawlessly. And now, Konstantin, now it's your turn, because I also see what kind of effects this light here is supporting. And one of those is this effect, which just has this name. And there's no dynamic enum yet, but now I change this to this effect, and I'm actually sending in a different patch SACN that we just were introduced, which was quite fitting, to this board. And yeah, actually, I mean, these are just 3 lights, but I have running at home like with hundreds of lights already, so this works quite nicely. And I find this really astonishing, because this basically for me looks like it's going to replace, or it's some kind of Firmata kind of thing, but Firmata that is much more capable, because everything that is the network communication, the ease of use. Also, what I really enjoy about this entire thing is that basically when you do something in here, you automatically get some logging about what is happening here. So every interaction that you're doing in Home Assistant is stored. And I didn't do it here, but you can easily integrate stuff like Grafana. You can integrate stuff like InfluxDB if you're cool with that. And basically, it's just a few mask clicks and a few configurations that you have to do, which is super powerful. And in the end, this all runs off. So Home Assistant runs off a Raspberry. So this is not visible anymore. Sorry. Just wanted to show you that basically I have a Raspberry running Home Assistant, because Home Assistant can be just flashed onto, there's an entire operating system distribution for that. You just flash it on an SD card and put it into a Raspberry. And yeah, that's super cool in my opinion. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it's still a little bit work in progress. I have to thank also the guy sitting right next to me, who is over here. Because
hello.
It kind of itched me to do this integration. Actually, one big side effect of this was that when we're talking about MQTT communication, that actually there was a binding missing for MQTT for the public channels. And there is now, because all those nodes that you just saw here in the background are using public channels. And so everything that you can see here over MQTT can also be controlled via public channels in here. And these are just convenience nodes that are inside using a public channel to do all this.
Wow.
That's about it, I think.
Well, nothing to sneeze at, if you allow me to say. Very impressive, very door opening. No, the possibilities in which you could use something like this are pretty much endless. So very cool to see it. Also, this now binding for MQTT, very useful, very handy, very cool. So thanks for sharing as always, Motsi. I don't know where you get the time to do all this. It's every 2 months you come out with a completely new life-saving idea. So keep up the good work, man.
Christmas holidays, I would say.
Properly spent.
No, actually, I do have some other projects in mind. One of them is like, I intend to use this also for courses at our university, because like if you get a system that is so capable and actually easy to acquire also for non-technical people when it comes to, I don't know, creating smart environments, Of course, this was kind of an intention from my side also to get into this deeper, because I'm going to show other people how to do this as well for my professional things.
Very good. You have a question from Simone on YouTube. He's asking, why not use Home Assistant's own API instead of adding an MQTT layer?
That's actually a valid question. It was just the lowest hanging fruit to get started with that, because I was very experienced with MQTT before, and Home Assistant's API is also very capable. Actually, the communication between the microcontrollers and a Home Assistant is using Home Assistant's native API, which is using proto buffers and stuff like that. But I think this would have needed much more boilerplate and much more work to get it going. And for me, at the first step, it was important to just like have it in there, and that was just like the easiest way to get going.
Okay, but there's no technical reason why it shouldn't also work on the native Home Assist API or whatever.
I would guess that it's totally possible. It's just like the amount of time you have to put into this is probably much higher, because there's so much that is not yet available. As you can see, like actually the most of the work went into understanding how bindings work, and all the nodes that are in here are quite simple. I mean, the Lightning node is probably like the most complex one. That means like audio being sent out to different rooms and stuff like that. And what I tried out is also it has some integration for text to speech, which can be used to just send text there and have it like output as speech that is using Google Translate in the background on things. And I tried some things with those speakers that you find in museums, and you can like really like, okay, when you pick it up, then you just get some sorry, just a cable. Some random text there. So yeah, the possibilities are quite big.
Any hopes of getting this released or publicly
actually
available?
Yes, I will push this pretty soon, at least in the current state. I'm not sure if it's yet worth to be published as a NuGet, but the MQTT binding is online since this week. And yeah, the Home Assistant stuff is just something that is just, yeah, just needs my time to finally clean it up a little bit and put it online. So
cool, very cool. I mean, round of applause for Mozzi. Simone is already interested in it. He's asking if you can republish it, so maybe there's some communication to happen there. Cool. Thanks again. Do we have any other questions or comments, maybe in Berlin or elsewhere? Yes. Okay.
Yes, to Matthias. Any chance that an LLM would be useful in that case? I mean, have you ever thought or during your research to control basically a smart home via an LLM? Is it worthy, or is it something that it's just not reliable or pretty unsecure?
I mean, an LLM is just such a, I don't know, such a basic technology that is so flexible in so many ways. Sure, there's many ways of how you can think of how to integrate something into a smart, I would like say smart environment. Personally, I don't have a big penchant for smart homes, but actually you have to think about, okay, what things are available already, because like there's all the integrations from Alexa and Google Nest and all these things are already out there. So they do basically this voice communication. Of course, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I know that Home Assistant themselves, they published some hardware that is called Voice Assistant, which is basically also just using LLMs to make voice communication possible. But I have no idea about the capabilities. And I forgot one important, or one probably very interesting thing, which is you can actually define anything also as a so-called MQTT device. So you just need to publish some kind of device specification to Home Assistant, and it will appear in Home Assistant as a device. And that means actually it's quite easy to just make an vvvv patch and Home Assistant entity, because you can just say, okay, I'm a vvvv patch, I'm publishing this and these values, and they will just appear in Home Assistant and can be integrated into this entire Home Assistant system with all the, I don't know, stuff that exists, like automation, stuff like that. So that means if you have like software running somewhere, it's quite easy to make it available in Home Assistant as an entity that could be used for something else. Because as soon as it's available as an entity, you can define conditions in these automations that are possible, and you can then probably quite easily start to control your smart home from an application running somewhere. So
incredible. Super cool. Yeah, I mean, incredible stuff. Imagine that. You can just make your patch publicly available through this, super easy to configure.
For me, the interesting side was the controllability and having like the logging and monitoring as well, basically for free, which is
absolutely
something, especially when it comes to media installation, quite interesting to have.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Incredible stuff once again from RD Motzi. Do we have any questions left over here? I don't see anything.
I think Tejan is knocking at the door.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, then give it up. Well, if that's it, another round of applause for Motzi once again. Thank you so much, man. Hope to see this in the wild soon. And then is Tebian with us? Is that what's happening?
I'm here.
Well, hello.
Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay.
Okay, okay. Happy to have you. What do we have today, Mr. Tebian?
Yeah, I wanted to show 3 things, but unfortunately, none of them works. But I can show it. But I can show them anyway. You can like imagine how it would be then if I would have a week more time or something like that. So let's go.
Let's do it.
So the first thing, maybe some read it in the forums already, is that I'm working on an implementation for DLSS that is upscaling and frame generation for games. And of course, V4 uses game technology, so we can have that too. And you see it already running here. I don't know how the resolution is on Zoom or later on YouTube or wherever you watch it. But this is a 4K screen and it's currently rendering at like 1080p. That means it's like 4 times higher the pixel count on the screen than what's actually rendered. So you can see that already here. The upscale is working well. There's one little thing with the camera, but you can see in the bottom left, there's some information. It's 1920, 1080 to 4K, the upscaling, and it looks quite sharp. It looks very nice. And it's, yeah, super fast, at least on my screen.
Yeah, how fast is it running for you? Because for us, it's quite choppy, but FPS count more or less.
I mean, it's locked to 60 because my screen is not faster, and this
okay
is very simple for my GPU. So you will just save like 4 times the pixel count. So it especially helps with pixel shaders. So if you have heavy pixel shaders, heavy rendering, also a lot of pixel like overdrawing, many very little geometries, because each pixel that gets overdrawn adds a lot of performance cost. And if you can just reduce the pixels on your screen, you get much better performance. So it mostly helps with the pixel shader performance. Let's go out of the full screen and show you quickly how it looks in the messy help patch. So here, so this is the scene. It's just these blue boxes. And down here you have the camera. And then this is the scene texture. and then up there you place DLS upscale as a post effect, because it takes what the scene renders, takes it internally, sends it to the NVIDIA DLL render thing. You can change some settings. Yeah, what you have in games, these are these settings. Then there's some sharpening, exposure things you can adjust depending on your content. And the output is, it tells you optimal render size, so how big the render texture should rescale its internal buffer. And then it outputs the upscale texture that in that case is like 4 times the resolution. And the upscale texture in this case then just goes to a render window. And there's another little thing in this library. It's called Deep DVS, which automatically does color grading. On this scene, it's not really doing much, but you have a little bit of intensity. Do you see that? You know, it's darker, brighter, and saturation. Yeah, it's like an auto color grading. Looks a bit better, a bit more contrast. It looks really good because yeah, looks a little bit more high quality. Then here's the frame gen node, which doesn't work at the moment because it needs DirectX 12. So I started to make a DirectX 12 bridge internally, but this doesn't work yet. I already see the window. It's very promising, but it doesn't work yet. So the frame gen will be here, and then you also have a mode automatic frame generation, and you can set a multiplier if you want to have 1 frames, 2 frames added. And yeah, that's that. So that's DLSS. Oh, there's also one more thing. Oh yeah, it's the upscaler. That's called NVIDIA Upscale. That is basically just like a texture fix. You can put a texture in, put it out again, and then you can scale it by 1.5, by 2. There's no AI happening or anything. This is just like a very good upscaling algorithm. You have some sharpness that you can adjust, and you have to tell it what kind of color space you have. So yeah, it's 4 nodes basically, and FrameGen not yet working. It's quite complicated. You have to tell it like start update, end update, start render, end render, present, stop, start, and it's quite complicated, but almost working. Yeah, so that's that. So next one.
Just for my understanding, this is NVIDIA hardware specific, yeah?
The DLSS, yes. It's an NVIDIA technology, and it needs the latest driver they have. Yes. Oh yeah, any questions there? Otherwise, I go to the next one quickly.
Yes, I have a few. Basically, I have one. Hello. So, just for the DLSS, if it works also with, I don't know really well how this is working. I'm aware of its existence, but is it working also with streamed video? Like I have a low-res video, can I upscale it?
You can try. It needs the depth buffer and it needs motion vectors, but it can generate the motion vectors itself if. So if you have, you can try. Some people, I researched this a little bit. You can try just to make a black and white mask as depth buffer, and then set the motion vectors to black, and then it does something, and it could be better, but you have to try. The upscale node helps a little bit. So the upscaler is quite good. You can just double the resolution and put some sharpness in it. Looks a bit better than if you would just upscale it linearly.
Another question here from Berlin.
Yeah.
Have you tested on a bunch of different abstract, generative, media art type content? Like, is it particularly tuned for video games, or do you think it always gives a good result on media art content as well?
It's tuned on rendered content, so the edges get really sharp. So if you look at the original texture, you see it's very blurry in like 4 times upscaling, and it has this you have to generate like an interpixel jitter, so the camera randomly hops in the pixel, and the low res input picture has this like 4 frames jitter or higher, and then the upscaler like builds a sharper image out of that. It's quite interesting, this technology. So it looks pretty good on any edges, I think, that you render.
Okay. And you think even like, I don't know, classic ISO lines type 2D thing?
On 2D, I don't know. I haven't tested that much. So I think if you have very sharp lines, it might get some like moire patterns, maybe could be, but yeah, not 100% sure.
Okay, looking forward to trying.
Yes,
Thanks.
I haven't tested much content because I was just developing it and couldn't test so much. Okay, so next thing, quit this sharing, is something interesting. I can only show that I have an exported application that works. So I have this Excel. I have exported this executable with before. Currently the patch, I'm not getting it to run today. I don't know why. So it's an executable. You can see here, it's really a real core and everything. And if it starts, the executable opens a window in the browser, and it looks like this. Here. And it only does that because I was way too lazy to make a UI for it. And then I just told an AI to generate me a web page that has the color grading AI, like in a professional color grading environment. Yeah, and then so let's put them next to each other. Oh, no, this needs to be the correct resolution. Yes. And then the main thing here, it's a package called OpenColor.io. So it's called vr.ocio. I already released that, but now I made an upgrade based on feedback I got from someone working in like compositing and VFX and stuff like that. And they have all these weird color spaces, all this ACES, CG, CCT, sRGB, all that stuff. And this library basically is the standard library that you use in Hollywood and in any compositing software. So this library gives you all these color conversion shaders. And then I made a shader that then does all the color grading that you usually have in those softwares. And it's basically just a shader node, and this UI only inputs the values to the shader. So this UI is only like to demonstrate that it works. And then after that, you can, after the color grading, I shouldn't put the exposure there. So yeah, all that works very well. Temperature is very good. Then you can say, what is the output color space? And these things are really important for like HDR pipelines. And then you can put the tone map, the ACES, the standard one that all VFX programs usually use. Then you can set white points, stuff like that. And then also the display format if you have an HDR for display, you switch that. Oops, then it reinitialized it. Now it looks darker because my screen. Oops, cannot display that. I don't have an HDR mode enabled at the moment. Yeah, but it recreates the window with the correct HDR pipeline. So yeah, that's just needed for if you have 10-bit pipelines or HDR pipelines. So pretty nice. And yeah, just an update there. If you need it, you know where to find it. Okay. Oh. I think my audio is dead.
We hear you.
Ah, okay. Okay, last thing now, number 3, is a little personal project. Okay. So there was there's always a little bit. So I really like the shading language of Stride because it's so I don't know. It just looks nice, and it has so many cool features. But if you start writing it, many people, and there was a recent discussion that put me to this project that I started like a while ago, and now with all the AI tools, just told AI to realize what I want to have. So what it did is created basically a Visual Studio Code extension that has full awareness of the shader code. So what you can do now, if you write shaders for V4, you, for example, can hover shaders, and it tells you like where it's coming from, what kind of other shaders it inherits, your own shader, what it does. Then you can check your compositions, and it does like a local error checking. So it tells you, oh, albedo is not here, cannot use it. It also does type checking. So if you do X, Y, Z, tells you cannot convert float 3 to float 4. So this is based on the HLSL extension with additions for Stride. And the really cool thing is that you can now check. You go streams, press dot, and you can really see what's available in your shader. So this is one of the main things that is so hard to understand in SDSL, but now with this extension you can just check it, and then it also tells you how it's defined, what data type it is, things like that. And then, it should also, if you have an HDSL intrinsic function and you open the thing, it tells you like its signature and things like that, and also the suggestions. Yeah, so that's a personal project I just wanted to share.
Very cool. Very cool and very helpful, I think, for those who are actually writing shader code out there, because Stride does have its own like little niche version of shading language that is not always available in tools like this. So very, very cool, man. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Cool.
Right.
That was it.
Cool. Any questions, comments? I saw some love going on. Game changer, says Sebastiano, for the upscaling frame generation stuff. And Motzi had some love for the shader language, VS Code extension. Anything else for Tevian? Questions? Love? All right. Well, round of applause to you, man. Always a pleasure. Thanks again. Good work on the fungi stuff we saw in Raphael's project. Also very nice looking. And I mean, we're kind of running out of time, but Mr. Joreg, do you have something to tell us? Some closing words, maybe.
Yeah, if you can still awake.
Let's do it. I mean, let's try to keep it snappy, but I think everybody wants to hear from the devs if they can. So
Does that? Boom, boom, boom. All right, sharing my screen. I want to talk about the status we have with this whole topic of package management. So you probably saw that we recently released this new page, vvvv.org/packs. It's just a package browser that allows us to find any .NET package that was built for vvvv. The way it finds these and puts these here is by having a .NET NuGet that has a tag called VL. Once you publish that, every 4 hours, our backend updates this list, and it will be people will be able to find it here. Now, obviously, that's only part of the problem that we want to solve because it's only a browser. It only helps you finding things, but the status of using these things in vvvv is still like going to the command line, typing NuGet install, you know the drill. Then it takes a while and it downloads the package. And then it's only downloaded, and you have to remember that you now have to go here to the dependencies menu, find it, and reference it, right? There's quite a few steps involved. First, find it, then type it, and then reference it. And this is one of the things that we wanted to solve with a package manager. And so here I want to show you the status of what we have there. This is a preview version where I press now Control F3 to open the package manager. And here I can also search for things. Basically, the package manager is meant to resemble the package browsers, the online browser, quite closely. And so it helps us find things. I can look for video input. Now I can, with one click, download it, but also it references this package right away to the open document. So here it says packs referenced by. Now you see this is referenced, and I can use the video in node, right? And then I will want to have probably VL stride. I don't see it. It's not here. Why is it not here? Is it not here? Here it is. Yeah, it's a bit still in the works, as you can see. But so I reference stride. I can now go video source and then what's that? Yeah, it's just a text channel. So you see, rather quickly, I can now find packages, download them, and have them referenced at the same time automatically. And I get this nice overview here where I can say, now remove this, and you see immediately the node is gone again. And this node should also be gone now. It isn't, but you get the, it didn't remove it for some reason. Now it's gone.
Oh, there you go.
So you see a few hiccups, but the idea should be clear. So we have this browser here, and we also have this by owner. So we see all the nice people creating this crazy packs. So that's the one end. And just as another quick demo of the same thing, really, but coming from a different angle. Imagine I'm back with 7.0 stable again, just to demonstrate what's happening. I'm opening a patch that I got from somewhere the first time I opened this patch. It's a project that I checked out or downloaded the patch from the forum, and it says, oh, it's missing things. So now I would have to go here, dependencies menu. This tells me what's missing. Now I could again Control F3 type these things, or if I know that I can just right click here and install them, then it would download them and find them. But also this is kind of too much, right? So going back to the new version here, if I open the same patch here, then we see, and it was very quick, there was a new colored bar up there that says downloading and reference, basically downloading these packages. So here, I opened the same patch without any pre-downloaded packages. It did that on the fly in the background, and the patch just opens. And if I Control F3 to see what's referenced, okay, it's these two packages, OpenCV and MQTT. So far, I hope so understandable. Now, one more demo here. Because, I mean, you know, the thing with package management is great. This makes everything very modular, but version hell, right? As long as everything is clear, everything is clear. But now if you start mixing patches that reference different versions of things, nightmare. So we try also to help you there a bit, opening another patch. And this patch has another version of, I'm looking at the reference packs, and it says warning, version mismatch. Do you see that here? So it tells me you have referenced version 126, but actually loaded is 125. And why is 125 loaded? Because first I loaded this, I opened this patch which has 125 referenced. And one thing we don't solve here is being able to load multiple versions of packages. So you still can only load one version of a package, but now we tell you exactly what's the problem and what you can do. That's a new thing. You can open a new instance. And so this is now a second instance running here. And this second instance, so you see it's downloading this version that was missing. And the second instance would now have the other version loaded. And this is something that was not possible, isn't possible so far, right? Because so far, as you know, we have this kind of NuGet folder that's there that you can manage. But you, like, if you have different versions of the same NuGet, it always takes the latest. There is no way for you to choose which version to take. Now, with this rework of the whole system, there is no NuGet folder anymore that you can manually manage. You don't have to anymore. You just tell vvvv one instance which version of a pack you want, and you get that. you still can only get one version per instance, but at least there is nothing like it used to be, like they have a shared folder somewhere and you have to manage the shared folder and you can't load different projects because you know, or yeah, you downloading the new vvvv version and that needs another package. So at least if you have an old project and the new project, you can open them side by side now in two different instances and compare them. And once you decide on which version you want to have loaded, yeah, you just choose that for all of them and restart the instance, and then you should, yeah. So these warnings here will help you. Also thinking about a different view that gives you an overview of all the warnings and like kind of a matrix of which version is used where, and so that get a better view on more complex projects. This might be something that's handy to see in which documents a certain version is referenced, and then you can go there and see why is that really necessary. But the idea is that always the topmost entry point decides on the versions, because that's the version that's first loaded, and then all the others, they can only show warnings if they don't match. Yeah, that's basically what we are working on. Question?
So to resolve this issue now, you would have to change the loaded NuGet in the topmost.
Yeah.
So you can't change it here.
Yeah.
It only gives you the warning.
Yeah, exactly. I can change it to anything. That's 2.5, but I can change it to anything, and it would just give me a warning. And here is now I'm really loading two parallel things, right? It's more interesting when you have a project. It's kind of a tree of documents where you have, right now, you don't even know what versions you have set there. Kind of, it's hard to know. And now you get an instrument here that allows you to very clearly say, this is the versions of packages I want to use for a project. And anything down there, if it references, then it gets that version, that particular one, and not only just the random latest that I have installed.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
Where are these packages are being stored then? I mean, since there is not anymore a NuGet folder having all of them.
Yeah, they are actually stored, of course, somewhere on your machine, but it's the build system that just fetches them from there. So you have a local NuGet cache that it populates, and it has all the different versions in there that you ever downloaded. But it's a system cache that you don't. It's not our cache that we maintain.
But what I'm not understanding is that in the previous versions, if it happened that I don't want to use anymore any of the NuGets I had, I could just go there and remove them, and I always knew that no matter which instance I'm running on, I will have always access to these specific NuGets. So now this, I guess, makes a difference. So how I keep my drive intact, like cleaning it up, not having rubbish or garbages from different instances, and since if every instance has its, let's say, own references. This means that, as you showed, that if I have the same patch opened in two different instances, which sometimes for me is the case, especially, I mean, for anyone who works basically with networks, what happens then? I mean, how I can manage to clean this up at the end?
You don't have to. You don't, like, the way we introduced it in up till now is just something that we came up with ourselves, to have this individual NuGet folder, and then you can make a NuGet folder per project if you want. but this was really kind of just out of necessity because of other complexes, things that we didn't tackle. Now we tackle these things, and now you don't take care of this anymore. It's just what .NET does in the background. There is a cache. You can delete that also. Nobody cares. If you need space on your hard drive, you can delete that cache. But nothing in there like collides or interferes with each other. And there is not duplicate instances because you have multiple vvvv versions or so. This is not, you shouldn't be afraid of that. You just have a single copy of each version of each NuGet that you ever installed. You can delete that, but it doesn't matter. Really.
Fair enough. Thank you.
I have a question for you, Jörg. What about private NuGets and this kind of stuff? Most companies will develop their own stuff. Will this integrate with my own private company set of libraries?
Yeah, of course. So we don't invent anything here. It's just the NuGet system allows you to define sources for NuGet servers, and this is something we will also support, of course.
Sounds great. Thanks.
I got a question.
Oh, me. What is with .NET dependencies? So it's a one VL nugget have one .NET dependency, and another one, a different version of this. What's happening?
I'm pretty sure it's a problem. It's the normal but it's like it's not a vvvv problem. It's a .NET problem.
But is there a way to find it out? Because you don't show the I'm not currently not. No.
But maybe that's something with this matrix view we have in mind that could be shown there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you wouldn't see it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
just compile errors.
Yeah.
So you run a patch, and then it'll download the NuGet straight away and run the code. Are there any security features?
Ah, come on.
Yeah,
no. That's I remember this thread on the forum that you started some time ago. No, we haven't incorporated any of the possibilities there. I think NuGet provides some ideas around that, but we don't. We might if there is, but I haven't thought about that.
I might revive the thread.
Yeah.
Some suggestions.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably easy for us to at least open a pop-up and say, look, this is what's going to happen. Is this okay for you? At least.
Or do I have a setting where you could turn it off that it automatically gets in the if you're, because it might be, there'd be where it would get compromises and stuff, like you want to do one to process Microsoft Excel files or something. And definitely there would be malicious NuGets that people make. You're like, oh yeah, I'd try this. Yeah. And then it can also be that a NuGet gets taken over through a supply chain attack on something. So something that was trusted, it gets the latest.
The topic exists, no?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
We have a suggestion from Buildback. They say it looks amazing, but until it gets released, could you add a copy install command button on the page, on the packs page? So while we still have to type in the NuGet install, so on, could there maybe be an option, copy command, that gives you the string that you can just paste in the command line for the 2-3 days that this will be on release?
Yeah, there was also ideas of being able to have a button there and then open a local URL to open the package. So thought about that, but haven't come to it. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Any more questions or comments for Mr. Jörg back in Berlin?
Maybe one last one.
Sure.
A little bit bad that we stick on the nerdiest topic so long, the longest. But so if you, for example, now close the calling names in the patch demo, so that you only have one patch open, the patch demo 2.
Yeah.
Still angry.
So why is the warning not going away? Because now you have only one patch and it's referencing the one thing.
Yeah, no, but because we're not unloading nuggets. Like what's loaded once is sticks until you restart.
Okay, but
yeah,
that was the second question. So like you save now, say, hey, I want to choose version 1.2.3, which is not available right now, but when you restart, then
Exactly.
everything is getting picked up.
Yeah. So I say that I save. I mean, this will still be red because it's not in 1.2.3, because it's actually in 1.2.6. That I know that. So I save it, I close it, I open it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sections on my machine. And I open PAX demo 2, and it's there. So in that respect, nothing is changed. We can still only load one version of a pack, and on restart we can take a new.
Yeah, then I know there is like technical reasons why unloading packs and dependencies is not that easy and possible. But maybe I suggest like a restart button or something like that. Like you, okay.
We thought about that.
UX in mind.
Yeah, it tells you, look, we can't do this now, but here's a one-click button to restart.
One more question. If I have one VL file, that's referring another VL file, and you download the whole part of nuggets to the whole last string. Okay, that's cool.
So ideally, you open projects, huge projects, and you just wait a bit, and then everything is done without having to fill up your GitHub account with gigabytes of nuggets. That should be the idea.
I'll drag it with one more question. Before we had the option when we installed NuGets to say use latest available or something on those lines, no? Like I could say, I don't care about the version, just give me whatever is the latest. Is this still somehow possible?
Yeah, that's the default. If you press add, then you get by default the latest.
But that will be but that would then be linked to that specific version that was the latest at the time.
Yeah,
so if I open that patch in 6 months, it's not going to go and pull a newer one, which it currently does, right?
No.
Okay.
We already saved the version of the NuGet with it, but it burns the version
at the time of creation or whatever. Yeah. Fair enough.
I have one final thing to add. Actually, I think I forgot about, but at least part of that functionality that has the package manager will also be available just here. Right now you see a list of packages, that's just a random selection. But really what we want to do is we want to have all the packages available here. So if I type NDI here, I will see there is an online package NDI, and then it's not there right now, but Skia is there. So I click, and we know already it would install and reference that. But now I can also remove things from here. So just very quick for if you know if you're not looking for something, if you know it's there, just type a few search terms, press enter, you're done. It downloads references, and you can remove it if it was the wrong thing. Like the browser is more for if you need a browser, and this is like if you know what you're doing. Yeah, that's coming up shortly.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much, Jorik. Amazing. Looking forward to it. And that about brings us to a wrap. It took a bit. Oh, we have one from Tebian that is asking, so is V4 complete then? Are you guys done?
Yeah. Max drop.
And another one, Linux. So yeah, you got your work cut out for you guys. But thanks so much for that. Thank you to all the presenters. I'm going to do a very quick wrap up. The Node Institute announcing the 2 upcoming courses. Level Strips is already available, pre-recorded sessions around the topics of tracking and detection, and Phlegma's courses around UI frameworks and patterns will be coming up on February 26 and 27. So stay tuned if that's up your alley. And then we had Le Clonur from China showing us his super polished, very beautiful, and very nicely patched project, which was just mind-blowing and very inspiring. After that, we had Automath with his very cool and also inspiring project with kids making up games. And we got to play a little bit of the game as well. Remember, he has his website where you can download it, and there's some other stuff up there that you can also download and play with. After that, we had Schnelle Bunte Bilder with their also very polished and amazingly looking and quite complex game installation around icebergs or ice and different modes of transportation, all very inspiring and very, very beautiful looking. We had Raphael from Montreal, who gave us a very interesting private tour of his various V4 installations out there. Very cool. Multiple Orbex sensors, merging the point cloud data to create really high-speed interaction. Very nice stuff. Very nice to see. And then we had an unexpected visit from Motzi showing us the endless possibilities of Home Assistant and ESP Home protocols and applications. Very cool. Tevian also made a surprise visit showing us the future of upscaling and frame generation, which might soon get our 3D applications running much smoother, which we all desperately want. And finally, we had, of course, the V4 dev team showing us their latest package management upcoming features, which all look very promising and exciting as well. And that was about it.
And we had Randall moderating us from Costa Rica. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. I think, and of course, we had Konstantin from Athens. I almost skipped it, showing us not only LLM magic happening in V4, but also this very modern light controlling and receiving protocol, which also sounds very exciting. So I hope I didn't forget anyone now. And of course, as always, thanks to the Node Institute, David Brüll, Maxime, and our lovely team, everyone for joining us remotely or live. And of course, all of our beautiful presenters and everyone who contributed with their questions and comments. Thank you very much. And we hope to see you again soon. We don't have a date set, but yeah, usually 2 months time. So hope to see you then. Stay warm, my dear Berliners. And yeah, lots of love to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So